Hey guys, how's it going? Rush here, and welcome back to an episode of Cards and Castles TV commentary. Got some great matches lined up for you guys, especially our main event, which I'm hoping someone will follow through with a win on. Title, description, you'll figure out who that is. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Match number 1 coming at you right now. Alright folks, and for match number 1, starting off pretty smoothly here, we've got Kingblue, my clearly alter ego evil twin, versus Sharkmonkey. So a Druid Viking matchup versus the classic red yellow. Let's go ahead and see how this goes here as we're gonna jump into it here. Potentially maybe the no interaction package from Sharkmonkey. I mean, looking like it so far. Things such as the books, the Drain Life, the Dragon's Fire, although again, Last Will and no interaction bounce off each other very well, very closely, I should say. But Kingblue going to start off pretty heavy here. We've got the Ram Wrist into a Lumberjack, which is a great way to start off if you're, in these colors or, got that in your hand here. Going to be met with a Flying Book, which is a bit unfortunate because now we can, of course, bounce right off of that Flying Book with another unit of our own here. Mana Core, a nice little choice there to protect our Lumberjack further, kind of, although we do have Flamesword potential here from Sharkmonkey, which yep, he will take that. And then follow up with the Salahar Rider most likely. Yep, there it is. So again, reestablishing some board control. Took a little bit of life loss, but that's okay. Has the board back, so hopefully he can get a little bit of early control. As we now see a trap going down from Kingblue here. A couple of options inside of white, blue, things like Seed, Might of the Minotaur, not Avalanche though, because of course the trap would have popped at that moment, so not Avalanche. We'll see how Kingblue responds though to the Darkbender here. Looks like we're just going to play a Temple for turn and pass it back here. Drain Life, okay, it's going to hit the board here. Drain Life going to go ahead and power up the Darkbender, which is nice, because now we can hold that bad boy in the back. And see if we can maybe chip away enough damage from the castle with these tinier units to maybe get the win on our own here. Lumberjack does come down, connect to the Salahar Rider, dealing 2 to castle. Not what Blue wants to see there. We'll go for another Temple as well, which is... I mean, when you're blocking like that, it's never a good sign here. And of course, now that Temple taking enough damage for the Imp to pop. We will go ahead and be aggressive with the Darkbender, which is quite interesting here. We'll see a Darkbender and the Priest follow-up. So yeah, Kingblue has to find a way to get rid of the 6/8 Darkbender currently on board here. We'll see if he can do that. Spear Strike for draw, starting out, never really a good sign there, going into the Northland's Wolf and the Cloak of Ice. Alright, that is some stall for you. I'm not going to lie there. Medal of Bravery into the Storm Strike as well, which is quite interesting, although... Okay, I mean, I can see where he needed it. He needed the 2 to get rid of the Imp, although it would have frozen regardless, so I'm not sure if the Storm Strike was completely necessary. We will lose the Wolf to the Darkbender, triggering our Seed Trap from a few turns ago. This, of course, will get us into the Big Bad Craxus, but of course, that chain position doesn't look so well for him. That is going to be pretty problematic here as we now see the Pack of Wolves come down. Pack of Wolves is going to connect to the Priest there. The Priest is going to deal some damage, or the chain, excuse me, was going to deal some damage. Not enough though to kill the Darkbender, which is going to be unfortunate because that will end off the game. It looks like Sharkmonkey will be taking the win here. Yeah, it doesn't really need to do anything else. Just walk up Darkbender to connect for 4. And yeah, overall, that is going to be game for no interaction. Pretty nicely done from the deck here. Pretty elementary stuff. Nothing too noteworthy, but still noting that no interaction is pretty prevalent in the ladder. So those of you who are going up in ladder gameplay should keep in mind these decks are pretty prevalent and you should be boarding for them appropriately because they are just sometimes a pain in the ass with features like Darkbender, All the Burn, etc., etc. And unfortunately, Kingblue couldn't get the job done here, but a valiant effort, I will say. But with that being said, that will end off our match number 1 here. Let's go ahead and jump into match number 2 and see what is in store for us in that match. Alright folks, and we are jumping right back into it. Match number 2. We've got Helios taking on NathanIsRaw. We'll see if Helios can pull a win. Has been doing well in the CC, and it's now lurking in playoffs time. So will this be the omen that he succeeds? We'll have to find out as we jump into the matchup here. It's going to be a mirror matchup in terms of faction colors, but we'll see if the decks are the same. Starting out with the Salahar Rider. Now, it's interesting because Helios doesn't really run no interaction. He's got a pretty strong last will variant that he's taken to the ladder, has quite successful, as you can see on the board there. The matchup he had his stars placed at 34-20, which is quite high. So hopefully this deck doesn't fall to maybe a no interaction. But again, not sure what Nathan is running, so we'll see what happens here. But I should point it out, Helios is a pretty strong last will player. We'll see if that's what we're going to be seeing from his opponent, though. Although a turn 1 pass, though, from Nathan, not boding too well, as now Helios can be free to play the Priest here. Priest's going to come in, give Salahar that extra health boost to chip away at the castle just a little bit there. Going into the coin now, it's going to yield a Banshee from Nathan. Banshee is a pretty rough trade. I mean, he will get a minor spell. Vortex, okay, it could be interesting there, but we'll see how Helios responds. Again, another free damage to the castle there, yep. As he follows up with the Lumberjack for some more draw later down the line here. Although Witch Bolt on the Salahar Rider will give Helios that extra draw ahead of time. Not really a good sign that Nathan has to play something as heavy as a Witch Bolt to remove a Salahar Rider. Using that 4 damage on something, you know, that small is a little concerning there if you're Nathan here. His hand must not be looking too strong here as he threw out a Flower afterwards. Although Flower going to go ahead and make some work here. Go ahead and hit into the Banshee. The Fat Bard going in as well against the Lumberjack. Although this unfortunately sets up a weird Flamestorm position that Helios is in. Doesn't go for it yet. Sets up the Tarius Files. Is going to try and be a little greedy with it before getting the big value that he wants. Meanwhile, Nathan retreating the Flower, going ahead, following up with a Tarius Files of his own here. Smart way to predict the Flamestorm, I will say, coming in. If your opponent uses a Flamestorm, why not take advantage of it while you can if you're a Last Will deck, which it might seem that Nathan is. You don't see Sunflower and Tarius Files typically in no interaction builds, so this definitely pointing more towards that no interaction, or not Last Will mirror matchup, excuse me. But we'll see Helios going to try and get a little more advantage than Nathan out of the Flamestorm he's got in hand, following up with the Andrew, which he will stealth as well, which is fine, I guess. Make sure that it can't be targeted for burns here. Put it in a good spot as well. Can't be reached by anything on this board unless Nathan's got a speed buff hiding in that deck. Looks like he doesn't, though. Sets up another Tarius Files, which is going to be big for when Flamestorm hits, not only because Nathan will get a lot of cards, but this Andrew is going to get incredibly massive, incredibly early, which is not something that you want to see, especially on a clear board if you're facing it down. And then Helios following up the Darkbender as well. Going to be great pressure there to pretty much end the game at this point. We had the Fear, though, in hand, so Fear doing a great job pushing back, and the Vortex actually playing Darkbender up. Alright, fancy little way that we might be able to remove Darkbender here. Banshee connecting to it for 3. Flamestorm as well. That's kind of unfortunate, though, that we had to use the Flamestorm. Of course, it further powers up Andrew because the Banshee's Last Will, again, powering up Andrew even further. So, it's a bit rocky here. We did get rid of the Darkbender and we did survive for the turn, but things are looking grim, especially since Andrew now at a 4-11. Definitely a big boy there. Going for the General and the Tarius Files here. I will say it's been interesting that we went for this play over the Horseman damage, but I guess it's because you want to maybe save Horseman for if something else comes out. We've got 2 blue Firebolts. It feels highly unlikely, and Fear. It feels highly unlikely that Nathan will be surviving this if he does not have any sort of blocker here. Or even if he does have a blocker. Yeah, see, so, okay. The Arcanine General coming in. That's going to be game over. We can easily just Fear this away. But, of course, we are Helios. So Helios looking to flex just a little bit here. Putting the General into the General here to trigger our own Tarius Files. Getting Andrew that additional buff here. Nathan gets the draw as well, so again, further powering up Andrew to deliver an 18 blow. Not OTK levels of strong, but certainly very strong to end off the game for Helios' win. Fantastic win for Helios, especially going into the Raka Rumble, which hopefully will be airing soon at the time of recording this one. We have to put it up and put it together. Hopefully it should be out by potentially Friday if you're watching this on the day of publication. But again, no promises. We are doing our best there with the Raka Rumble. Anyway, enough of casting conflicts, enough of potential spoilers there. We've got Helios winning, putting himself in some great momentum for that said Rumble. But let's go ahead and check in our final match here for CTV today. We've got one more, which should be quite interesting, and I'm hoping our player here, or one of the players here, will bring in some good entertainment. And that player is, in fact, Tweakin. Tweakin, I'm putting you under the spotlight for this episode here, up against Jason. The Warlock Viking up against the, again, Warlock Crusader. Nice little trifecta of faction colors this episode. The Warlock Crusader. I didn't mean to do that, but here we are. And it looks like the possible no interaction matchup here against whatever Tweakin's got. So let's see if Tweakin can beat the no interaction here. Tweakin, don't let us down. Let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay. As we are going to start off a little slow from Jason, unfortunately. No unit to start us out for turn 1. But we do have the miner. Dwarven miner, that is, for turn 2. So Tweakin, how are we going to respond to this one? We've got the coin into the Acolyte. Okay. Acolyte is fine. This will let the miner get in for some 3 damage here. It does provide... I mean, it's interesting that Jason allowing Acolyte to pop a summon here. We'll see if he's going to regret that. We'll probably see Tweakin going for the Acolyte here. Yep, following up with the zombie. Faithful Drake for the draw as well, which is interesting. We're seeing that now. Potentially a top deck from him in that moment here. I'm not sure why we wouldn't see that turn 2 if he had it. Horseman coming in, though. That's going to take out the Faithful Drake there, allowing the Lumberjack to get in for some additional damage. A bit concerning that we took that more aggressive route here, especially considering the Acolyte is on the board. I understand that no interaction decks just tend to, you know, push for damage, but... especially this board here, Jason playing a little bit risky here. We could easily pop the zombie into the horseman for a trade there, and then generate a new zombie with the Acolyte. It'll give Jason a draw, but still doesn't feel worth it. Feels like Tweakin getting a more advantageous position here, which is exactly what we're going to see here. The zombie going into the horseman, the zombie not moving yet, although it looks like we're going to push that up along with White Knight. Okay, so some lifesteal shenanigans potentially going on here. We do see the Taurus files go down, followed by another Dwarven Miner, which is good. We don't want to put the Priest out to buff out our Taurus files out of Flamestorm range. Necromancer for turn, though, is a bit interesting. That will mean a trade with Dwarven Miner and Zombie here. The White Knight getting stronger. Not going into the Taurus files. Don't want to give Jason that draw here, it looks like. We will fear the White Knight back, though. And ultimately go for the Priest and Chaotic Storm play. So it kind of tells that we might be a little nervous if we're Jason here. His hand isn't really looking like he's got a lot of strong options in it. The double Drain Life and the Dragon's Fire are okay, but in order to rebound, you need some actual units, and Priest is not going to be enough. You need something maybe bigger from the deck here, and we'll see if that's going to come to fruition. We're just not sure if we'll be seeing that in this matchup. We do get a second White Knight, though, from Tweakin, so we are going to be aggressive with these as well. Tweakin smelling blood in the water potentially here, going all in with the dual White Knight, and Lumberjack as well here. We do Drain Life the bottom White Knight into the Priest. Okay, making it stronger. Kind of feels weird that we didn't just Drain Life the weaker one so we could save the Incinerate. I'm not sure if that was just a missed math calculation there from Jason. But realistically, hitting this bottom White Knight doesn't help you too much because the lifesteal will just... He'll hit back into Castle, regain the health he lost, and then just make it seem like the Drain Life was pretty wasted, and to a degree the Incinerate. So, I don't think burning off the bottom white with a Drain Life was the correct play there. The Priest will get feared back because of the Necromancer, which is fine there. Lumber going in for the trade. Okay, Tweakin going to go ahead and value the draw here in this case, which is fine. And then, yeah, White Knight going in, hitting for 3, regaining the lost health, and following up with a third White Knight here, which is absolutely brutal to Jason, considering his options in hand. He's going to have to Drain Life this bottom White Knight to make sure the Imp can make a trade here so that he doesn't keep losing life on his castle. And yeah, has been really pushed to the brink here in terms of resources. Not something you see often, a no interaction deck down to the last card here. It's been kind of, you know, pretty apparent that this game that Jason has been getting a lot of draw support in his hand. He has the Taurus files, but no way to get rid of it. And Tweakin's certainly not going to be the kind soul and give him that draw, especially if he's in a position like this. So we do see the second Necromancer from Tweakin as well. That is going to hit for 4. And we're just going to, again, start pouring on damage here, which is pretty bad for Jason. Chaotic Storm hitting the board here. We'll see where that hits. We have no other plays right now. We do hit the Necromancer and Acolyte ones, which is enough to warrant Dragon's Fire, it looks like, being put down here, which is fine. But, yeah, Mordock coming out here. No cards for Jason in hand. Will he be able to deal with a Mordock in one turn? Yeah, the flying books is not going to help you, my friend. So that potentially is game right there. We can move White Knight down, bop the castle. Mordok comes in, generates a unit here. Ah, geez. Temple racking as well. Oh, this is big brutal. See Mordok come in. Yup, White Knight hitting as well. And then hopefully we can be friendly and just... Okay. Okay, Tweakin. You gotta Mystic Journey Rat King, huh? You Mystic Rat me for views. I mean, hopefully, will that be enough for the views? Will people want to see Tweakin play Mystic Rat for his last turn? I don't know, but there it is. Tweakin delivering the win, looks like, which is fantastic. We told him to do so at the beginning of the episode, and he did follow through with that promise. Doing so in a pretty dominant way against the no interaction build, too. I guess... really, with Jason's hand has been unfortunate. Not a lot of draw coming into his hand. His burns having to be doubled up to remove some of the big threats that the White Knights were providing. So definitely unfortunate there. But again, it is what it is. It happens when you have, not so strong draws and you're put up in a match like this. I think Tweakin could have avoided the Mystic Rat, but of course he had to flex something, I guess. It's Tweakin being Tweakin. But that, of course, is going to be our final matchup of the day. So, with that being said, congrats to Tweakin again for taking the win here. And let's go ahead and move out to close this video. Alright, folks, with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this edition of TV Commentary. Let me know what you guys thought of today's match by leaving your thoughts down in the comments section below, as well as being sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, sharing this with your friends, and of course subscribing if you're new to the channel to show it some support and some love. The best way we can grow the channel, after all, guys, is by hitting that subscribe button, as well as buying the merch if you want to. Merch link in the description as well. But that is going to be it for me for now. So, with that being said, until next time, guys, stay gaming.